Hey everyone, Jamie here and welcome to my latest video. I'm so glad you're here. So today's super quick video actually is probably a couple of techniques you might already know being in the paper craft world. But if you're brand new, I get a lot of questions about different techniques. So I thought, well, let me share this one. I have a brand new mini album today on the blog and on my social media feeds. I want you to check that out. Sponsored by Old School Paper Collection by Heidi Swapp. Super beautiful collection, and I just wanted to make a gratitude attitude. A gratitude attitude? Yep, I want to make a gratitude attitude. And I want to make a gratitude album from this paper collection. Anyway, inside here there are several pockets. I'm just sharing 3 ways to make pockets. 3 different ways. You might already know or have a favorite way. You may have never made a pocket. You may think, why do I need a pocket? It's okay. Just sit back and watch this video and enjoy the process and go make some pockets. Here's my little mini album, and inside it's sort of an accordion setup here. You can see a lot more pictures on my blog, but let's start with this pocket right here. This is probably my easiest and go-to. So what we're going to do, we're going to grab a scrap of paper, a cutting tool plus scoreboard. I really like this We Are Memory Keepers scoring tool and cutting tool. And of course, we're going to need some adhesive. I'm going to measure this existing pocket right here, and I'm going to see that it's just about 2.5 inches wide and right about 3 inches tall. So I'm going to add a 1/2 inch to each of the sides of the width and a 1/2 inch to the bottom. So that means I'm going to need, a 3.5 by 3.5 swatch of pattern paper. I'm going to take 1/2 inch of a score on this side and 1/2 inch of a score on this side, and then 1/2 inch on the bottom edge. Going to just chomp out those corners so it folds much nicer, and take a moment to make sure these edges are nice and crisp. Grab my 1 inch hole punch, make a little thumb hole there. And so now I have a pocket that I can add into one of these page panels, just adding adhesive on the 3 sides, popping that into place. Super easy, interactive, doable pocket. So that's one way you can add a pocket to this mini album. Okay, a second way you can add a pocket to this or any album is by making those channels. I was inspired by Heidi Swapp. She uses this technique quite often. I'm going to trim this piece of paper down so it fits inside my panel a little nicer, but I'm going to make sure this swatch of paper is actually the size that I want it to be on that page in the mini album. I don't have real measurements for you. I am eyeballing this, and you would do the same. It's just based on your page and what size you want your pocket. So that's exactly how that pocket's going to look. I'm going to go ahead and punch out the thumb hole. Before setting that aside, I can see that the height of this is about 3.25. The width of this is just under 3. So now I'm going to take more scrap paper. I'm going to cut about 1 inch wide. These are going to be the side channels. So they're going to be, I'm going to go just a little under 3.25 because I don't want them peeking out. Just going to score these in half. And you don't have to use a scoreboard for this. Of course, you can just fold it. I'm not that great of a folder though. It's like cutting. I can't cut a straight line to save my life, nor can I fold a straight line to save my life. Just adding adhesive to these and adding them to, I'll add them to the back of my pocket. It's just how I prefer to do it. It's that way they're lined up exactly where they need to be, and you're not guessing where it goes on your actual page. And then, of course, we just need to do the same thing, smaller piece of paper to be the bottom portion of the pocket. So I'm going to make that, and then it'll be ready to go inside of its page. I think this is better inside. That way everything, the tagline or whatever you put inside the pocket just moves real smooth into its home. So then I'm going to take this and pop it right on the page, and it now is ready to hold anything that you want it to hold. We're going to make one more pocket, and one of my favorite tools is the pocket punch board by We Are Memory Keepers. And it comes with this great little guide. And what I like to do, because there's a whole lot of pocket sizes that you can make on here, I like to find the size that I'm going to use. And I use a Post-it note and I just mark it so that I don't get lost on my sizing that I actually need. So for example, I would like to have a pocket size that is going to be 2.75 by 3.25. And I'm going to use, there's two different kind of pockets you can make with this punch board. One is with a flap and one is just with a notch. I want to make one with a flap because you've seen me make them with a notch, but this is fun that this makes a flap. So the instructions on here say that I'm going to need a 6 by 4.75 piece of paper. So I'm going to cut that. Then I'm going to use the guide label for my settings on here. Let me show you what that looks like. So the guide label says to have the letter at C, the number at 2. You're also going to notice on these, there's an arrow. For a long time, I wasn't paying attention to the arrow. Make sure the arrow is actually facing your paper. You'll have such better results. My cutter popped out. I've got my cutter now in place, and so I'm just going to follow the rest of the directions while I make this pocket. Okay, so I've left the flap so that it opens obviously on this side, and then you can embellish that however, put a little notch piece there so it stays closed. Keep it open if you want. It kind of shows through on the other side a little bit. And so you have 3 ways to make a pocket for any of your paper projects. So you saw this way where I just scored the edges. Of course, using here the pocket punch board by We Are Memory Keepers. And then this pocket here that employs those channels, if you will, for lack of a better word, to make your interactive pocket. I hope you enjoyed this video. Super easy techniques, just ways to add to any of your paper crafting, memory keeping projects, just some go-to ideas for you. And if you like this video, I would love for you to hit the like button. And then if you don't subscribe already, please do. And I will see you in the next video. Thank you.